So, as you might suspect, these are all cropped to circles. So you could do that. It's helpful that they're small because some of the resolution's bad, but this alone, and I know that we'll talk about the formatting in general, but this alone might be helpful for you to just move them from circles to squares. Something else that, so you asked about, could we add a logo? So here we go to the modules. And so a logo is just a photo. So you would say, drag your photo here, and I'm going to pick one that likely is not accurate.
There are the icons.
What icons? Oh, here are your icons.
So say he works for this one. Okay, so notice when I add it, it's big.
Did you add it as a row?
I added it, I just dragged it as a photo itself
okay.
because it already lived in a larger row. This is our larger row.
Mm-hmm.
And so I dragged it here, and what I can do is I can align it to be left so that looks a little bit better, but it's still really big. So what first thing I'm going to do is make it the medium size, which is the 300 by 150. So that looks better, but it's still like off center. It's still not great.
It doesn't look married to that paragraph.
Correct. So then I thought, what if you dragged it into this container? So you see, and so then it's still recognizable. It's small. It depends. Some logos might get smaller than you would like, so this isn't necessarily the best option, but it's far better, I think, than where it was. So this is a scenario in which I would say it's going to be useful for you to know where to mess around with this advanced
margins.
Yes, because you'll want to take like this 20 pixels margin, you'll want to take that up, meaning you'll make this 0. And then because you can see when I delete this, you see how it adds 20 by default. That's a universal global setting that is on the site, and you can override it by saying no, I want it to be 0. And then you can come to this particular photo. So this is, we're talking about this page, but you can use this principle across the site. I would just be very conscious with when you're using it and how you're doing it. But so you come to the photo, same thing here. It has 20 pixels built in, and you say 10. So now this looks a lot more cohesive with this entire situation. Something else you might want to do to see if you prefer is you might say, I'd like to bring a separator in between these to really drive home the point that these are separate entities. So when you do that, you will need to mess around with, okay, this is a bit further, like this spacing is further than this spacing, so how would I do that? I would test, what does it look to add 50 pixels? So there will be points at which I think this is appropriate for you to mess with, and you'll learn which is too far and which is appropriate. So that is an option. I don't know if you care for that. Cancel it for now. Something.
And adding the line, how did you do that?
So that would just be a plus, and then bring your separator. Do you like the separator?
It's not bad.
Okay.
I mean, again, my question is this layout consistent with the rest of the website? That was my original question.
I think
it's just
that
like a long list. We don't have it anywhere else.
Right. And I would say, so that's a good, let me